Hello. Okay. How are you? Happy Friday. Okay, I've pinned. Wait, did I pin it? So, today we've been talking about The Vanishing Half because I read The Mothers by Bennett a few weeks ago. And yeah, so I decided that we are actually going to read because we don't have it. Well, I don't know if South Africa has it yet, but The Vanishing Half is out. And wait. So yeah, that's I just decided to like read that for today because Thursdays and Fridays I read from online literary magazines. So why not? Because we read not we I read from I can't find it now. But anyway, yeah. The Mothers. Wait. So Simula says she can't hear me. Okay. Sorry for if you can't hear me. If you can hear me now, please let me know. The Vanishing Half. Oh, okay. So Brit Bennett has. Oh, okay. So Exclusive Books has copies of The Vanishing Half, and Simula says it's expensive. Yo. Okay. So to I can't. Oh, I can hear you. Oh, I was reading. I can't hear you. Okay, so Sarah. Hi, Sarah. So Sarah says she can hear me. So everybody on Instagram or Bookstagram is going crazy over The Vanishing Half. So I thought it would be nice to read. Cause I don't wanna like Thursdays and Fridays. I don't wanna, you know. Yeah, I wanna keep it at just online literary magazines, and yeah, that's it. So I'm going to read the back of the book or the blurb on the book since I don't have the book, but we're gonna read an excerpt from Brit Bennett's The Vanishing Half. Cool. So wait, let me read Brit Bennett's bio first. I'm actually taking this off Goodreads. So yeah. Anyway, Brit Bennett was born and raised in Southern California, and she graduated from Stanford University and later earned her MFA in fiction at the University of Michigan, where she won a Hopwood Award in graduate short fiction, as well as a 2014 Hurston Wright Award for college writers. Her work is featured in The New Yorker, the New York Times Magazine, the Paris Review, and Jezebel. The Mothers is her first novel. So I have read from The Mothers before. I think last month. Yeah, I bought that copy at a secondhand bookstore, but it was at Bargain Books for like $70. So yeah. And then okay, so let me read the blurb on The Vanishing Half, which is her new novel. The other stores haven't received it yet, but Exclusive Books does have it. But yeah, it is on my to be bought list. But I have decided that this year I'm not going to be buying any more books. I have bought so many books that can last me all of 2020 and all of 2021. Yeah, I had to pause for effect. So I'm trying to lie to I'm trying to not lie to myself, but I really don't need any more new books with like from this purse. Like I'm not I can't yeah. But Anyway, The Vanishing Half will be bought at some point, but just not this year. But yes, this is The Vanishing Half. The Vignes twin sisters will always be identical. But after growing up together in a small southern black community and running away at age 16, it's not just the shape of their daily lives that is different as adults. It's everything: their families, their communities, their racial identities. 10 years later, one sister lives with her black daughter in the same southern town she once tried to escape. The other secretly passes for white, and her white husband knows nothing of her past. Still, even separated by so many miles and just as many lies, the fates of the twins remain intertwined. What will happen to the next generation when their own daughters' storylines intersect? So that is what is on Goodreads. I've already marked it as a want to read on Goodreads, but I don't know when we will get it, but when we do get it, I won't be buying it. The book gods will bless me with a book. But I'm encouraging you to go to Exclusive Books, because apparently Exclusive Books does have copies of The Vanishing Half. The cover is amazing. It's just as amazing as the Mothers. I don't know where my copy of the Mothers is, because it's brilliant. But yeah, oh, here is her first book, The Mothers. I loved it. I saw it buying me, and I just fell in love with it. So I'm gonna read from. I just googled an excerpt for. Right, that's what I thought. Sarah says the description gave away the whole plot. What? People really need to do better when describing books, man. So I'm gonna read the cut. I just went on to Google because I felt like reading the Vanishing, because today I saw two Bookstagram accounts posting about The Vanishing Half, and I remembered, actually I've been wanting to read. I don't know why is my screen going off, but anyway, as long as you guys can see me or hear me. So I got this off thecut.com, and there is an excerpt there. Let me just bring the mouse, because I'm reading from a laptop. The Vanishing Half. So here goes. I agree, Sarah, because there is someone did a review, and she said we shouldn't actually read the back of that particular book, because then it'll just ruin things, or it won't be what is inside the book. So sometimes I do try to buy books with my eyes, like here, and then here will be like an added bonus, but this will be like, oh my gosh. And then I check who the author is at the back, and then I'm like, I was like, oh, even better. And then only when I had paid and like exchanged because I have a credit at the secondhand bookstore, then I did the whole credit thing and I paid and I left. And then when I got home, I was like, oh, okay. But this and this sold me. I was like, oh, The Mothers. It will obviously be good. So yeah. So Sarah says she doesn't read blurbs. I should take that tip. Like blind book dates. Yeah. Maybe I should do that. Okay. So this is an excerpt from The Vanishing Half. A notice was pinned to the front door of every house in the Palace Estates, calling for an emergency homeowners association meeting. The Estates, the newest subdivision in Brentwood in 1968, had only called one emergency meeting before, when the treasurer was accused of embezzling dues. So that night, the neighbors gathered in the clubhouse, whispering hotly, expecting the hint of a scandal. What they did not expect was this. Current President Percy White standing in front of the room, his face beet red as he delivered regretful news. The Lawsons on Sycamore Way were selling their house, and a colored man had just placed an offer to buy it. The room sputtered to life, and Percy threw up his hands, suddenly finding himself in front of a firing squad. Okay, there's a comment. I find them misleading. Like you, I choose the books I buy based on the covers or what people I respect say about it. Me too, Sarah. Okay, that's similar. And she said, I don't read blurbs. I even avoid reviews until I read the book. I'll tell you something after I read this about reviews and spoilers and. Okay, so there's an associations meeting. Those meetings, ne? Yeah. And so Percy, is it Percy? Yeah, Percy White is like, just the messenger, he kept saying, although no one could hear him. Dale Johansen asked what the hell was the point of having an association if not to prevent such a thing from happening. Tom Pearson, determined to outluster him, threatened to withhold his dues if the association did not start doing their jobs. Even the women were upset, or perhaps especially the women were upset. They did not shout like the men, but each had made a certain sacrifice in marrying a man who could afford a home in the most expensive new subdivision in Los Angeles County, and she expected a return on that investment. Kath Johansen asked how they ever expected to keep the neighborhood safe now, and Betsy Roberts, an economics major at Bryn Mawr before she'd married, complained that their property values would plummet. It was after reading the blurb of House of Stone that steeled my resolve to stop reading blurbs. I'm like you, blurbs entice me. Okay, so they having a fit about... Yeah, they are having a fit that a colored man can now afford to live in the prestigious estate. Anyway, but years later, the neighbors would only remember one person speaking up in the meeting, a single voice that had somehow risen above the noise. She hadn't yelled. Maybe that's why they'd listened. Or perhaps because she was ordinarily so soft-spoken, everyone knew that if she was standing to her feet in the middle of a raucous meeting, she must have had something urgent to say. Or maybe it was because her family currently lived on Sycamore Way, in a cul-de-sac directly across from the Lawsons, so the new neighbors would affect her most directly. Whatever the reason, the room quieted when Stella Sanders climbed to her feet. "You must stop them, Percy," she said. "If you don't, there'll be more, and then what? Enough is enough." Hey! She was trembling, her light brown eyes flashing, and the neighbors, moved by her spontaneous passion, applauded. She never spoke up in their meetings and hadn't even known that she would until she'd already clambered to her feet. For a second, she'd almost said nothing. She hated feeling everyone watch her, had wanted to run, shrinking at her own wedding. But her shy, faltering voice only gripped the room further. After the meeting, she couldn't even make it out the door without neighbors wanting to shake her hand. Weeks later, yellow flyers flapped on trees and light posts that read in big block letters, "Protect our neighborhood. Enough is enough. When she found one stuck in the windshield of her car, she was startled to see her own words reflected back to her, as foreign as if they'd come from a stranger. Did I make a fool out of myself? She asked later. She was sitting in front of her vanity, brushing out her hair. Blake eased behind her, unbuttoning his white shirt. Of course not, he said, but it'll never happen, Stell. I don't know why everyone's getting all worked up. But you saw Percy up there. He looked plumb scared. Blake laughed. I love when you say things like that. Like what? Your country talk. Oh, don't make fun. Not right now. I'm not. I think it's cute. He stooped to kiss her cheek, and in the mirror she watched his fair head bend over her dark one. Did she look as nervous as she felt? Would anybody be able to tell? A colored family in the neighborhood. Blake was right. It would never happen. The association would put a stop to it. They had lawyers on hand for such a thing, didn't they? What was the purpose of having an association if not to stop undesirables? I'm mad. I'm sorry, guys. And it's not even like a lot of pages, but I'm already like, okay. They had lawyers on hand for such a thing, didn't they? What was the purpose of having an association if not to stop undesirables from moving in, if not to ensure the neighborhood exists precisely as the neighbors wished? She tried to steady that flutter in her stomach, but she couldn't. She'd been caught before, only once, the second time she'd ever pretended to be white, during her last summer in Marlad. Weeks after venturing into the charm shop, she'd gone to the South Louisiana Museum of Art on an ordinary Saturday morning, not Negro Day, and walked right up to the main entrance, not the side door where the Negroes lined up in the alley. Nobody stopped her, and again she'd felt stupid for not trying this sooner. There was nothing to being white except boldness. You could convince anyone you belonged somewhere if you acted like you did. In the museum, she glided slowly through the rooms, studying the fuzzy impressionists. Yo. Sarah says, that's a pivotal scene in the book. It's so good because when you read it in context of the novel, it's so good. Sis. Anyway. Okay. In the museum, she glided slowly through the rooms, studying the fuzzy impressionists. She was listening distractedly as an elderly, decent, intoned... Oh, guys. Sure. My phone keeps... I don't know why. Anyway, I'm back. You can convince anyone you belonged somewhere if you acted like you did. Huh? Brit, Bennett, yes, books and rhymes, bars, like... Okay, how much is this book at Exclusive Books? We might not have to wait. Okay. She was listening distractedly as an elderly docent intoned to a circle of listless children when she noticed a Negro security guard in the corner of the room staring. Then he'd winked, and horrified, she rushed past him, head down, barely breathing, until she stepped back into the bright morning. She rode the bus back to Marlard, her face burning. Of course, passing wasn't that easy. Of course, that colored guard recognized her. We always know our own, her mother said. And now a colored family moving across the street, would they see her for what she was, or rather what she wasn't? Blake kissed the back of her neck, slipping his hand inside her robe. Don't worry about it, honey, he said. The association will never allow it. It's crack. So good. Sarah is getting me so excited. Like, this book. And I haven't even read the mothers, guys. Like, oh. Okay, so Simone says the book is $3.43 at Exclusive Books. Is it already available? Yes. Ms. Weiner came in late. So yes, it is available at Exclusive Books. Yeah. And she did say in the comments earlier that she had seen it at Exclusive Books. Okay. So this book is like crack good, according to our favorite sis, Books and Rhymes, Sarah. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay. In the middle of the night, her daughter woke up screaming, and Stella stumbled bleary-eyed into the girl's room to find her in the throes of another nightmare. She crawled into the tiny bed, gently shaking her awake. I know, she said, dabbing at the girl's tears. Her own heart was still pounding, although she should have been used to this by now. All those nights she'd scrambled out of bed, following her daughter's screams, always fearing the worst, only to find Kennedy twisted in her covers, clenching the sheets. The pediatrician said that nothing was physically wrong. The sleep specialist said that children with overactive imaginations were prone to vivid dreams. It probably just meant that she was an artist, he'd said with a chuckle. The child psychologist examined her drawings and asked what she dreamt about, but Kennedy, only 6 then, never remembered, and Blake dismissed the doctors as a waste of money. Oh, this book. So Samola says, yes, I saw it the other day about, oh, okay. So, yeah, 4 ways. A lot of people who have read it, myself included, forewent sleep in favor of it. Crack. Okay, I just noticed that I didn't switch on the lights, and my lighting is very important, guys. Hold on. Hey, good lighting. Yeah, now yes. Okay, so we need to read the mothers, but hey, Vanishing Half, guys. Okay. So, okay, now we're getting the story. La understand, ne? She must get it from your side, he told Stella. A good Sanders girl would be out like a light. She told him that she used to have nightmares when she was young too, and she never remembered them either. But that last part wasn't true. Her nightmares were always the same. White men grabbing her ankles and dragging her, screaming out the bed. She'd never told her sister Desiree. Each time she'd snapped awake, Desiree snoring beside her, she felt stupid for being afraid. Ms. Weiner says, oh, okay. Thank you, Sarah. I blush when I get compliments. Okay. Ms. Weiner says, I'm in my PJs. I don't have to worry about lighting. Hey, listen, the lighting needs to be right. I can't wait to get this book. It must be crack. I mean, if people are like losing sleep over a book, do you know that niceness? And after you're done, you're like, oh, like, how did I gobble it up so quickly? Okay, my tea's getting cold. Ugh. Okay, so hadn't Desiree watched from that closet too? Hadn't she seen what those white men had done? Then why wasn't she waking up in the middle of the night, her heart pounding? They never talked about their father. Whenever Stella tried, Desiree's eyes glazed over. What you want me to say? She said. I know just as much as you do. I just wish I knew why, Stella said. Nobody knows why, Desiree said. Bad things happen. They just do. Now, Stella gently brushed back the silken blonde hair from her daughter's forehead. It's all right, darling, she whispered. Go back to sleep. She held her daughter closer, pulling the covers over the both of them. She hadn't wanted to be a mother at first. The idea of pregnancy terrified her. She imagined pushing out a baby that grew darker and darker, Blake recoiling in horror. She almost preferred him thinking that she'd had an affair with a Negro. That lie seemed kinder than the truth. Momentary unfaithfulness, a gentler deception than her ongoing fraud. But after she'd given birth, she felt overwhelmed with relief. The newborn in her arms was perfect. Milky skin, wavy blonde hair, and eyes so blue they looked violet. Still, sometimes Kennedy felt like a daughter who belonged to someone else, a child Stella was borrowing while she loaned a life that never should have been hers. Yeah, no. A week after the association meeting, Stella started to see the signs that her worst fear had come true. First, the literal one, a red sold sign tacked onto the Lawsons' front yard right in front of their rose bushes. She didn't know the Lawsons well. She rarely spoke to them beyond the expected pleasantries at the neighborhood potluck. But she still forced herself to wave down Deborah Lawson in her driveway one morning. Deborah glanced back at her, harried, as she ushered her two tow-headed boys into the back seat of her sedan. The new family, Stella said. Are they nice people? Oh, I don't know, Deborah said. I haven't met them. The broker handles all that. But she wouldn't look directly at Stella the whole time, brushing past her to climb into the car. So Stella knew that she was lying. Okay, wait. Still, Stella held out hope that her suspicions were wrong until Blake came home from racquetball, wiping his sweaty face with his t-shirt, and told her that the association had rolled over. The colored fellow threatened to sue if he wasn't let in, Blake said. Hired a big lawyer too. Got old Percy running scared. He noticed her fallen face and squeezed her hip. Aw, don't look like that, Stell. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm going to keep on tapping because my screen keeps on, I don't know what's going on. It keeps on going dark, so I feel like, hold on. Okay, so I'm going to keep on pausing it to read the comments as well because I don't want to go too far thinking that, but, okay, so I see the conversation is about loot. It is crack. Yeah, so Vena says, I mean, it is crack. It's the only proper explanation I've come across. And can you hear how Mpila is reading it? Listen, this book, we have to get this book. We have to. Sarah says that scene you're reading was, Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the colored fellow threatened to sue if he wasn't let in, Blake said. Hired a big lawyer too. They get like, why do they get offended when I'm getting mad? But anyway, got old Percy running scared. He noticed her fallen face and squeezed her hip. Oh, don't look like that, Stell. It'll be fine. I bet they won't last a month here. They'll see they're not wanted. But, the, but there'll be more after them. Not if they can't afford it. Fred told me the man paid for that house in all cash. He's a different breed. He almost sounded as if he admired the man. But what type of person threatened to sue his way into a neighborhood where he was not wanted and would not be welcomed? Why would anyone insist on doing such a thing? To make a point? To make himself miserable? To end up on the nightly news like all those protesters, beaten and muttered in hopes of convincing white people to change their minds? 2 weeks ago, she'd watched from on the arm of Blake's chair as cities across the country lit up in flames. A single bullet, the newscaster said, the force of the gunshot ripping off King's necktie. Blake stared mystified at devastated Negroes running past flaming buildings. I'll never understand why they do that, he said. Destroy their own neighborhoods. The country was unrecognizable now, Kath Johansson had said, but it looked like the same as it ever had to Stella. Tom Pearson and Dale Johansson and Percy White wouldn't storm a colored man's porch and yank him out of his kitchen, wouldn't stomp his hands, wouldn't shoot him 5 times. These were fine people, good people, who donated to charities and winced at news reels of Southern sheriffs swinging bully sticks at colored college students. They thought King was an impressive speaker, maybe even agreed with some of his ideas. They wouldn't have sent a bullet into his head. They might have even cried watching his funeral. That poor young family, but they still wouldn't have allowed the man to move into their neighborhood. We could threaten to move out, Dale said at dinner. He was rolling a cigarette between his fingers, peering out the window like a sentry on lookout. How'd the association like that, huh? All of us just up and leave. Why should we be the ones to leave? Kath said. We've worked hard, paid our dues. It's just a tactic, Dale said, a negotiating tactic. We leverage our collective power. I'm telling you it'll never happen, Blake said, leaning over to light Stella's cigarette. I don't know why you all are getting yourselves so worked up. It better not, Dale said. I'll see to that. She couldn't tell what unnerved her more, picturing a colored family moving in or imagining what might be done to stop them. Days later, a yellow moving van crept slowly up the winding streets of the Palace Estates, halting at each intersection in search of Sycamore Way. From her bedroom window, Stella peered through the blinds as the van parked in front of the Lawsons' house. 3 lanky colored men climbed out the back in matching purple shirts. One by one, they unloaded a leather couch, a marble vase, a long furled rug, a giant stone elephant with a flared trunk, a slender floor lamp, an endless parade of furniture with no family in sight. Stella watched as long as she could until her daughter sidled up behind her and whispered, "What's happening?" as if they were playing some spy game. Stella jolted away from the blinds, suddenly embarrassed. Heading to the bed that night, Blake reassured her. It'll be fine, Stell. They'll keep to themselves if they know what's best. Okay. So, the colored people, like, are moving in. Can you guys see? I'm getting mad with this book. But I'm like, I want to see. Heading to bed. Okay, so they will keep to themselves if they know what's best. The room felt dark, the mattress creaking as he rolled over to kiss her. Sometimes, when Blake touched her, Stella saw the man who dragged her father onto the porch, the one with the red gold hair, tall, grey shirt partially unbuttoned, a scab on his cheek as if he'd nicked himself while shaving. Blake pressed open her thighs, and the man with the red gold hair was on top of her. She could almost smell his sweat, see the freckles on his back. Then it was Blake's clean ivory soap again, his voice whispering her name. It was ridiculous. The men looked nothing alike, and Blake had never hurt her. But he could, which made her grip him even tighter as she felt him sink inside. That was the excerpt from The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett. Guys, you have to get The Vanishing Half. Maybe we can even co-read in December or something. I don't know. Let's just get the book, guys. So I just read from Brit Bennett's The Vanishing Half, but this is her first book, The Mothers. I have read it. So it is on IGTV and it is on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's a lot of episodes on there. But anyway, all the readings that I've been doing for the past month or two, I've actually uploaded on YouTube as well. So if you're not going to be on Instagram, you can actually check them out on YouTube. Guys, sure, a 5-star book. I see there's a 5-star review. Like, hey, I wanted to. So Simula says it's 343, so it's about 350 at Exclusive Books. And it is available on Loot as well. So I'm not sure about the independent bookstores if they do have it yet. But yeah, you can check them out. And sure, I am so looking forward to reading this book. Anyway, that scene, sure, guys, I want to actually go back to it. I need to go back to it. Yeah. So every Thursday and Friday I'll read from online. Either I will be reading from excerpts of new books that are coming out that are going to be digitally released, or if I don't have them, because I did say I'm not going to be buying any more books. Thank you very much. But I'll read from literary magazines. Yesterday I read from dukelitmag.com. So if you're going through a reading rut, you can also check them out. Dukelit Mag, Lolwe, LOLWE, the Johannesburg Review of Books. They publish short stories from brilliant authors. Like, there's a lot. So if you're going through a reading slump, I'd say, or is it reading slump, reading rut? I'd say read a short story collection, read an anthology, read an online short story, and then you might actually get back into the. Okay, there's Afrida as well. Yay, Sarah. Afrida also has a lot of stories from home. Okay, hold on. I know. Thank you. She said so at the beginning of the live. Yes. You just said you're no longer buying books this year. I am not buying books this year. But yeah, so if you are struggling with reading and you might not want be ready to read the books that you already have, read a short story. Like it really, I feel like it encourages you, pushes you to like be interested, and you might even, like yesterday I was reading from Troy's short story. It is on IGTV. Actually, you can check an author's previous work as well, you know. So Afrida is an African literary magazine featuring fiction and creative nonfiction from emerging writers across the continent. It's a fusion of words, Africa and reader. Yeah, we live for the well-crafted narratives and effortless reads that speak to our daily realities as Africans at home and abroad. So there is Afrida, and there is Lolwe and Duklet Mag. Zainab is laughing at me. Okay, we believe you. I'm projecting because I don't have self-control when it comes to new books. Every move you make, every step you take, I'll be watching you. I'm not gonna go to bargain books except to go collect the one book that I actually ordered. So I ordered Here Comes the Sun. I ordered Here Comes the Sun because we have we collect books all from the same author. So I got Patsy for like what, $70. So I got Here Comes the Sun for $60. So I'm gonna go get it. That's the last money I'm spending. I promise. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I hope that nice, Nicole Dennis Ben. Yes. Okay. We also yet to read Patsy. So we went crazy over the bargain books sales. Cause I mean $70 for a book. You know, that's like 70 rand, and I was like, what? So we've been spending a lot on yeah, all book addicts are like that, guys. So that was today's reading. Maybe keep an eye out at your next book shopping. Then you buy The Mothers while we're waiting for other bookshops to have The Vanishing Half, and then we can buy it for a lesser amount because it's like $3.50. Whew. So yes, Sarah says I'm like a proper book hooks. I've been buying books like a crazy person thanks to the Rona. Listen, I feel like the gym money we could be my money for gym I've been spending the books on, and petrol money, like there's people who are working from home. So I mean, you're not spending on petrol, so you might as well just splurge, spoil yourself, buy books, go support a local independent bookstore. You know, there's Chicken Natives, there's a lot. There's Afroculture that's actually offering a 20% discount for women for up until the 16th. What is today? The 14th, yeah. So check that out. Patty is my August read for book club. I cannot wait. There's so many books to read, guys. Like, ooh, okay, it's almost an hour. I've been yapping. I'll see you guys tomorrow. No, it's Friday. I'll see you guys on Monday. I'm actually thinking. I've been thinking, yo, I'm tired. I've been reading since March. Do you realize that? So I feel like taking a break until the end of the year. and not reading, and just reading all these books. So I'm like every day 5 o'clock. No, no, Miss Weiner. Miss Weiner says, "See you tomorrow." No, have a great weekend. Okay. I hope you get to read. I'm reading Queenie. I'm reading Queenie, but I'm taking my time. I'm like so slow with it. I keep on reading online things as well. So yeah, taking a break from reading. What is that? Sis, I'm tired. Thank you, Liam. Okay, so I am gonna go now. I will see you guys on Monday at 5 p.m. for because this week we didn't actually read from New Daughters of Africa because of the public holiday. It was Women's Day on Sunday. So the holiday fell onto a Monday and I gave myself a holiday and my family treated me like I was having a holiday. So I was just relaxing. So we didn't have a book reading of New Daughters of Africa. So we will read from New Daughters of Africa on Monday at 5 p.m. I'll see you guys on Monday.